All right, guys. So it's really a damn shame that it takes war and bloodshed and death and violence for the left to realize how important our foundational rights and freedoms are. And in particular, I'm talking about the Second Amendment, okay? Because, a lot of these people on the left, not all of them, there are some pro 2A Democrats that do understand the importance of having armed citizens. A lot of these people have been fighting to take away people's fundamental rights to defend themselves. And I find it amazing how when things happen overseas to other people, in which, you have a country like Ukraine that's being invaded, okay, they realize how important it is that citizens are armed, okay, and that they are ready to fight just in case their country is invaded by a foreign threat or even a tyrannical government here domestically at home, right? These people think that it can never happen to us until it actually happens, right? And again, it's amazing how they realize the importance of it when it happens to other people, but when it comes domestically here, they don't think that it's not a big deal, right? It can never happen, right? Russia would never invade the United States. Okay, China would never invade the United States. We don't need to be armed. Okay, or better yet, the United States government, the citizens would never need to take up arms against the government for any reason. Okay, it can't happen to us, right? We're a progressive society. That's what they think. That's what they believe. But these people, they're lacking an understanding of history, right? They believe that our founders were idiots, right? The way they think about our founders is they was old white slave owners, right? And the way they frame everything is through the lenses of race. And this is why it's so stupid to do that, because you lose the important context of what things are actually about. I mean, these people have tried to make the argument that the Second Amendment is about slavery, right? It's not about the citizens being able to take up arms, right? Just in case a tyrannical government overreaches in regards to their power, or they start oppressing the citizens, or if a foreign threat invades the country. No, it's not that. It's slavery, right? Again, this is why CRT is such a toxic ideology. It really is, okay? And they've used as an excuse to make arguments against the Second Amendment, right? But the reality is that our founders weren't just white slave owners and racists who exist just to oppress black people. That's not it at all. Our founders were actually forward-thinking individuals, okay, in which they knew that this was a possibility, and therefore they designed our Constitution to acknowledge rights and freedoms that would be fundamental to protecting the population, right? That is why we have the Second Amendment, just in case a tyrannical government decides to take up arms, or if we're invaded by another country, right, such as Russia or China, that citizens can defend themselves, right? And I kind of get it to a certain extent for the younger generation, especially those that aren't really that brushed up on history, right? How they would say, okay, well, that's unrealistic. That will never happen, okay? But I understand the broader picture, right? And that's why I'm willing to accept that there will be negative externalities to a armed population. Yes, you will have shootings. Yes, you will have people who take guns and use it on themselves. However, I'm willing to accept those negative externalities in exchange for the possibility, right, that a foreign threat can invade this country, and the citizens need to be armed and ready to defend themselves so that we don't lose millions of lives. Okay, I need people to understand that, because they really don't understand that. So with that being said, I hope this situation is showing people how important it is to be ready, right? You need to be ready, okay? Because I'm certainly ready, right? I'm ready. And I hope other people are ready as well too, okay? And I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm just trying to make a point here. So with that being said, Defiant Ales actually called out the Occupy Democrats for their hypocrisy, right? And if you guys don't follow Defiant Ales on Twitter, I highly recommend. Defiant Ales actually got banned for Twitter for calling out the Democrats' hypocrisy. This account literally exists simply to call out the Democrats' hypocrisy, and they hate being called out of hypocrisy so much that they temporarily banned the account for it, okay? So back in 2016, Occupy Democrats said, No civilian needs an AR-15, regardless of whatever mental gymnastics you do. You are a very special breed of stupid, right? So you're a special breed of stupid if you think any citizen needs an AR-15. Okay, now fast forward to 2022, reality hits them in the face. They say, breaking. Ukraine's interior minister announces that 10,000 automatic rifles have been handed out to the civilians of Kiev as they prepare to fight tooth and nail to defend their homes against Putin's invasions. Retweet if you stand with the brave Ukrainian people. Okay, so what happened? Right? Because just 6 years ago, Occupy Democrats were saying it's a special breed of stupid for citizens to be armed. Again, this is just an example of how these people are not forward-thinking individuals, right? That's why they can't really appreciate our founders and the Constitution, because they don't think forward, right? They don't think about all scenarios and possibilities, right? But now they see it happening, all of a sudden, oh no, we're pro-Second Amendment now, right? We're pro-Second Amendment for Ukraine. Again, as they do have to arm themselves and to protect themselves because of what is happening, right? So let's actually read about this. As Kiev residents say they're not ready to give up as they're giving guns to help defend their city. Ukraine's Minister of Defense had issued a call for civilians between 18 and 16 to take up arms to help defend the country. But on Friday, as Russian troops got closer to the center of the city, he asked anyone over the age of 18 to volunteer. The government has also banned men between the ages of 18 and 16 from leaving Ukraine. CBS News saw a steady stream of people entering one makeshift recruitment center in Kiev on Friday morning, ready to join the fight. Quote, "This is my country. I have my family here, and I have a duty to protect my family and to protect my country. And this is the duty of each and every Ukrainian." 44-year-old Grigory, a map maker by trade who is arriving to help Kiev, told CBS News. When asked if Ukraine was ready to fight, he said, "We will fight as much as we can. We will fight because we have our families, our country, and our lifestyle that we are not ready to give up." A commander at the center who did not want to be identified told CBS News that thousands of people had arrived to fight, but that many did not have any military experience. He said there is not enough guns to go around. Quote, "Cities of Kiev are gathering here. They're receiving weapons here and guidelines of how to run urban combat, how to provide medical first aid, and how to destroy Russians and take their weapons," he said. Again, this is a great argument, again, for citizens, responsible citizens being trained on being able to use weapons, right? And being ready just in case, right? So that you don't have to get ready. Right. But see, once again, the woke revolutionaries don't understand this. For example, when Ron DeSantis did the whole thing with the state guard, where he was like, hey, we want to train civilians to be able to respond to emergencies, particularly hurricanes and stuff like that. So we want to train them, in medical aid and stuff like that. And the woke left, people like Joy Reid got all pissed off about it, said, oh my God, Ron DeSantis trying to train white men to kill blacks. That's the way she framed it, right? When he's like, no. We're training civilians to be ready just in case disaster hits, okay? Again, they have no long-term vision. They have no understanding of what could possibly happen and the importance of being ready, okay? The mayor of Kiev said on Friday that the city was in defense phase and that through the situation was difficult, the military would defend the capital. The commander told CBS News that groups of fighters would be spread throughout the city. When asked if they are ready to fight street by street combat, he said they are ready to die. God be with these citizens in Ukraine. I'm so serious. Because again, I mean, it's one of those things you don't think could ever happen until you see it actually happen on the world stage in another country. So that being said, I mean, you guys see how important it is, not only, for citizens to be able to take up arms, but also to have strong men, okay, to be masculine, right? And this is coming as, our military is going woke, okay? A lot of, our society is going woke, in which they're pushing away masculinity, right? The patriarchy is bad. Men are terrible, okay? But in times of need, of desperation, guess who a society has to lean on? They got to lean on the men, right? The women aren't the ones that's taking up arms. It's the men. So with that being said, I think Russia, Putin, they've seen that the West has become weak. The feminizing of the West has given them an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? We're going to bully y'all a little bit, right? And I believe that's a part of it. When they see NATO ads like this, in ads for the US military like this.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality.
While Russia is running ads like this.
Это первый день твоей новой жизни. То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Узнать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения? Каждый день. Здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага. Потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле, главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
Yeah, so whose society do you think is better prepared for an invasion, okay, or war, based off those two ads, right? Who do you think's military has their mindset on what the military is actually supposed to do? Okay, again, this is why, I do so many videos about, wokeness and, masculinity and this attempt on our society to take down the patriarchy, right? The feminized society, because it's important to remember at times like this, men are the ones that you're going to need, right? That's who you're going to lean on, okay? And we can't have a society that functions with weak men. I'm so serious about that, right? And that's the whole point of this video is to remind people how important having strong men are that understand the importance of the Second Amendment, that understand how to defend themselves, that are ready just in case the worst comes to the worst. And you can't have men that are ready when you are actively trying to feminize society and take away people's constitutional rights to protect themselves. You can't have that. So the good thing is that we do have the Second Amendment, and because of that, if something was to happen, I think it would be very, very hard to actually subdue the American population. But again, if we let these lefties and these woke revolutionaries take over this country, that can change very, very, very quickly. Okay, I'm so serious about that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.